Hello everybody, I hope you can hear me fine because I'm sitting in front of my window and it is raining. It's not very nice weather this evening, but I just thought I've got this little sketchbook that I have finished. I forgot that I finished it and I'm actually probably going to use it for some paintings that I'm doing at the moment for reference, these sort of things. Yeah, I'm probably going to use it for some paintings like that, and so that's why I found it. And I thought, you know what, I'll just do a really quick simple video for you guys of my sketchbook, a little sketchbook tour. A lot of it is more kind of based in note taking, so when I go outside on walks then I take one of these little notebooks. They're A6 and they fit really nicely into my pocket, and I take a pencil and I take little notes of the landscape. But I don't know, I mean, some of the pages might just be a bit scribbly, but hopefully this is interesting. So this is the first drawing that I did, which I think is actually really cute. I can't quite remember where I did this. It was just up my head, and I feel like the first page of his sketchbook, or of sketchbooks in general, sometimes are, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of tension often, and starting this sketchbook I didn't really know what I was going to use it for. I didn't have an intention when I first started, so I just picked up some pencils and I did this kind of abstract landscape. So this is like an island, clouds, the sea, some rocks. This is quite like a natural way of working for me sometimes when I don't know what I want to do and I have some pencils in my hand. So I did that. Look at this. Oh, that's such a bad little sketch. That's so funny. I've not looked through this, so this is all a bit of a surprise to me too. Here I was clearly sketching my boyfriend Max. Definitely just sitting at his computer. But I quite often do this. I sketch him when he's doing something fairly still. I kind of like this little sketch of a hand. Anyway, what's next? Okay, now we have some little self-portraits here. This is another little activity that I really like doing from time to time. Usually when I feel like I'm in a bit of a rut, but I feel like I need to draw, I'll sit down in front of my mirror and I'll sit and I'll draw myself. Yeah, I quite like how like minimal these portraits are, but yeah. Oh, and then we did another one. Oh, so that's kind of scary. Okay. This one's interesting because I can't tell whether I don't think I was on a walk doing this. I think I was probably sat where I am right now looking outside, because I know this house, it's the house that's across the loch, and I'm kind of fascinated with it. Like, I feel like it turns up in a lot of my paintings and drawings. Anyway, oh, this is a very like Mother Mary feeling portrait. I'm not sure why we've got the circle, and I don't know what this is, but again, another little self-portrait. So I can kind of tell, like, I really wasn't sure how I was going to use this. I was just going to sketch in it from time to time. I don't remember when I did this, but again, another self-portrait. A little scary, but oh, and then we got these ones. I actually really like this. A lot of times when I do like life drawing, whether it's myself or other people, I feel like I can get into the flow of like using quite minimal lines, and I don't know, I like it a lot of the time. So I know these are just like very much just simple marks, but I quite like that. What's next? Oh, an empty page. All right. Oh, I remember doing these. This again is actually me just not really knowing what I want to use a sketchbook for, but knowing that I wanted to paint. And this little landscape isn't from or of anywhere specific. This is another way I like to use paint. I just put things down and I let things emerge and grow. But it's quite a nice little painting and it's nice at this scale. And actually, after doing, so I'm pretty, yeah, the next few pages are just little landscapes like this. And after doing these, then I started doing more paintings but on like separate bits of paper, because this paper is quite thin so you can't go too heavy with the paint, whereas this is like thicker card. Anyway, so another little one, and pretty cute, nice colours. Yeah, this was where I was starting to get in a bit of a flow. So I started this sketchbook in, I want to say like September, October sort of time, and I feel like really this winter has been quite like full of growth in my art practice, and I feel like some of these pieces were kind of the beginning of doing a lot more similar landscape work. This is quite cute. Again, a little house. So these are still just of made up places. I like that. Ooh. Okay, I feel like the colours aren't coming out the same on camera, but that's nice. But you can see I'm very much naturally inspired by Shetland, because I can't help but paint landscapes. It's kind of just what happens. Oh, this is a vivid one. Okay, now probably from here on this is where it gets a bit more sketchy and loose, because I started using this notebook when I'm out on walks, so yeah, from here on it'll probably just be like sketches, but we shall go through them regardless. I've actually used some of these sketches as well to make further paintings of, so this is a very useful little sketchbook for me. And I think I don't know, there's something good about having a sketchbook that's this size, because it means that if you are out and about, it's really easy to take like compositional notes. You know, you don't have a huge bit of paper that you can feel lost in. Having it this sort of size, I feel like is really good for, I don't know, helping your mind process the composition or find compositions and get them down quickly. Now I know this is literally scribbles, but I actually really really like this. I don't know what these plants are called, but it's coming into spring now, but when I was painting this it was going into winter, and so they're all dried up, and I don't know, I just really like the silhouettes they make. Some nice little marks in here. Telephone post. I was actually quite obsessed with telephone are they called telephone posts? Anyway, you know what I mean. Yeah, so quite loose, abstract, just taking notes. So this was the first time I'd actually used the sketchbook in this way. These are all from one Saturday morning. I like this actually. I'm probably going to use this as a composition for a postcard, so I'm currently making some postcards of Shetland. So if you're interested in that process, then check out my channel, because there are some other videos that are about that project. Right now there's only one that's up, but there will be more. So here I started taking notes of what the actual colours were, because I had very limited colours with me. But I think I really prefer just taking like this one kind of black pencil and using that. Oh, I've actually done a little painting of this. Oh, I'll try and find it. This is the tiny little painting that I did from here, which I think is pretty cute. I actually don't know what to do with these paintings because I've got quite a lot of this size, and I'm not sure whether they'd be nice as prints, but they're really, I don't know, I just think they're so cute. Look at that. Adorable. Okay, I think this might be a different day now. So all of those sketches that you've just seen, that was from one day. Yeah, this is from another weekend. So I went on another walk. This is actually just where I live. This is like sand dunes. This is another thing that I love about using a sketchbook in this way, is that it really helps you, it just acts as a visual aid. It acts as a like memory aid, so there's no way I would ever recall this walk if I didn't have these little drawings. But now that I have them, I can remember what a lovely morning it was. The sun was so bright, it was that like kind of typical October-y autumn sun. I feel like that's like a really specific light, but I just love it. Yeah, and it was a really nice walk. What did I write here? Composition of man and land and natural and something melody. Composition of man. Oh, I think that's interesting, little note there. I think I was just thinking about how man-made elements in the landscape can actually, I find them really like complementary to the nature. Like I'm kind of obsessed with, well, I was talking about telephone posts earlier, so I really love how those lines can be so, I guess, contrasting against the fields and the sky and all the natural elements. I don't know, there's just something about that kind of narrative that I find visually interesting, and I guess you could probably think about it in some deeper ways and find some interesting things to say. But yeah, I guess I've always had like fascination with fence posts as well, so that's another thing which kind of feeds into that little message. Some big clouds. Oh, I really like this page. Yeah, so here you can see my fascination with the fence posts is coming through. I do love them. I feel like I have had an obsession with them since I was little, and I will say it's probably down to my dad, because my dad also has the same obsession. But yeah, like I remember when I got my first phone when I was like 13, I want to say, and I was so excited to have a camera, and I would go on walks and I would take many a photo of old fence posts. Yeah, still an obsession that I love today. And I really like, this is so silly because I don't know, you might think nothing of it, but see these wee marks? I absolutely love. I love that. I don't know, because obviously with the wire, then the light hits it, and it usually means that, like, well, it's either really bright because it's like reflecting the light, or there's like, you know, a really bright side, like edge, and then there's like the shadowed edge. And I don't know, I feel like I got that note down well. And I love this little house, and I do have a couple paintings that are inspired by this. So this is one of them, which I'm pretty sure I've got a video that shows the painting of this, if you're interested. I also did this painting from this, but I don't really like how it turned out. But it was just a bit of an experiment. But yeah, you can see how like I use this sketchbook to feed into other work. Oh, sorry. There are certain sketches that I just absolutely love, and this is one of them. I just love this composition. Again, I love like the man-made elements against the nature. Like I love the look of like coiled wire, like leftover fencing wire. Yeah, I love that wire, and yeah, you can see the inspiration coming through. I feel like I've got another pinning that's like this exactly, but maybe I don't. But maybe this is one that I make into a postcard. Pretty basic. What's this one? Oh, this is a boat. More boats. Oh, I love this page. There's something about this mark here, how the pencil has just made that. Oh, I just love that. And like, I don't know, I like how that's like the kind of main harsh line, and then everything else is very wispy and just kind of like delicate. But this is another Saturday morning walk. I actually really quite like this one as well, so getting some wildlife in, some sheep. I actually would like to learn to paint sheep in some way, some form of way. I've never really painted a sheep, I don't think, ever. But it would be something to add into my work. Interesting how some sketches kind of leave me a bit more stumped. Like I don't actually know what's going on here. What am I looking at? I'm really not sure. Oh, these are some little ponies. I do remember that. Oh, that's actually quite nice. That composition, like the wire cutting across straight like that, and then this is, sorry, this might not be obvious for you, but this is like land over here and here, and this is the sea, and these are some cliffs, I do believe, some like rocks. Maybe make that into a wee painting. Ah, we've got another little free page. Some birds on a telephone mast again. I'm really not sure they're called telephone mast. Telegraph post, is that? Yeah, I don't know. It's another wee pony. Oh, I like this one too, actually. This would make a real nice painting. It's quite dramatic. We have the clouds here, the sun shining through. I do like how these notes can tell me so much about what I was seeing in such a brief way. Yeah, I really do love doing these sketches. That one's less interesting. This is an old little croft house. Now we've got some very brief lines, but this is an old fence post, but the wood looks really interesting. I remember thinking that. I believe these are sheep, these little circles. Okay, this is definitely, so I think a bunch of those were on the same walk. And then I think this is, where is this? I'm not sure. I wonder if I'll, oh no, this is still the same place. This is still the same place. But where is this? Is this still? This feels like it's somewhere else, but I'm not, no, it's still the same place. A bit more dramatic. This one's really saying not very much at all. I like that shadow though. I can tell that's a shadow. Now we get on to Orkney. So I went to Orkney for a very brief little trip in, I think it was November. And I didn't have my usual pencil with me. I didn't do that much sketching though. And I actually found, well, I didn't totally explore Orkney, I only went to a few different places, but it was interesting how different of a landscape it is compared to Shetland. So if you didn't know, Orkney is an island also in the North Sea, but it's quite close to the mainland of Scotland really, whereas Shetland is a lot further north. And Orkney is a lot flatter, it feels a lot more calm, a lot more like agricultural, that was a big word. But I also didn't go to Hawaii, so I feel like I would have gotten some of the drama of the island there. Yeah, obviously didn't see everything, but generally like it is just such a different landscape compared to Shetland, which I think is a bit more rugged, which I'm slightly biased. I think I prefer. I like the drama. But I'm sure Orkney also has its own drama. This is a pretty rubbish sketch. What else we got? I'm not really sure what this is saying. Okay. This is a fence. Flat. I feel like I took other sketches of Orkney. I thought I did a drawing of the standing stones, but I don't think I did. That's so weird, I swear. Oh, that's what these are. These are the standing stones. Wow, okay. Very brief, Nina, very, very brief. Yeah, you can kind of see like that's the shadow of the standing stone. This is the land behind it. Another one. Right. Interesting. Wait, so did I have... So I did have my other pencil with me. I just obviously lost it for a few days. And then this is on to something completely different. So this is me trying to draw my boyfriend's parents' house because I was going to paint their house as a Christmas present, and I wasn't super chuffed with the result, but these are some sketches that I did for it. This is another little quick sketch. That's my house. That's very abstract. Some wee sheep. Oh, the little house. Tiny little house. This is my view from my bedroom window. And this is Rurrock, which is fairly close to where I live. And this is where I was starting to become a little bit more interested in houses. So if you've watched any of my past videos, yeah, I've become more fascinated with like buildings. And then we've got another little selfie. This wasn't actually done, like I remember finding this later on, so I think I did this at the start of the sketchbook. I actually quite like this sketch. I think it's pretty nice. Doesn't look totally like me, but I really love that eye. Yeah, really sweet. I'm not sure about this. Almost like that. Oh, I quite like this one actually. So this is something when it comes to like drawing myself, I'm never really obsessed with trying to actually make myself look like myself. It's more like, how can I make interesting marks? Really, to be honest, it's more having like, almost like not thinking when you're doing this. It's just like moving with the pencil as you, gaze into yourself. And I really like these eyes. I really like them. Here's some more. I've actually just signed up to go to some life drawing classes in a few weeks, so that'll be really nice because I've not done that in over a year. I've not done any since coming back home to Shetland because there hasn't been any here, but there's a few going on this month and next month, so I've signed up for them, so I'm excited because I feel like I'm missing my life drawing. I've not done it in a long time. Some more fields, some fence posts. Oh, okay, we actually still have, so it turns out I didn't finish this sketchbook. I have a few pages left. I wonder why did I start this one if I hadn't finished? I don't know. But anyway, that is my little sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed. I've actually chatted a lot more than I thought I was going to. I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute video, but knowing me, I like to ramble and chat, so I hope you enjoyed. Maybe not the most like breathtaking work, but it's a sketchbook that I find really useful, really handy, and more it is becoming the like foundation of a lot more of my work, which is really interesting. So if anything, this can be a little lesson to anybody watching. I feel like sketchbooks online have become this like precious place where you have to make a like finalized painting in them, but as you can see, for me, this sketchbook is very much research. It is just about keeping my hand moving, noticing the world around me, which allows me to make more work that is maybe a little bit more perfected, but there's something really nice about this being a starting point for a lot of my other work. And I think sketchbooks should be places of freedom. Like, that's something that I've learned the more I make. I think when I was younger, I definitely thought every page had to be really nice, and I was really embarrassed as well if I had like an ugly page, whereas like, as you see, I literally showed you some of the things that I don't really think are like this is a such a funny sketch, but like it's okay, it's allowed to exist in here. That's what this book is for. Yeah, so if you ever get stressed out about your little sketchbook being precious, maybe even just get another sketchbook that isn't like, this is your non-precious sketchbook, where you can just, you give yourself that permission to do whatever you want and there's no judgment in it, because it's really nice to have a space like that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.